So, onto a subject that is kind of important because despite somebody here thinking that some of these movies are bad, he's wrong. This one is actually pretty much split down the line, it looks like, from what I can gather on the internet and in person. They showed Ant-Man. I know this is kind of like 2 weeks old now, but it's kind of important because is this like Marvel's first major failed movie from the look of it right now? I mean, this is a teaser, and there's some really fucking bad teasers, but there's also some really good teasers.
Yeah.
And 2 questions. Did you guys think the teaser was any good?
I liked it. First of all, I love Michael Douglas, and I really like Paul Rudd, and I'm glad.
Okay, well, before we get to the actual why I think the movie might be good, like the teaser itself, did you think that the way it was made was good? Like,
well, okay, I like that they were making fun of the whole concept. They did it like twice.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I want you to be Ant-Man. He's like, oh. Yeah, then he's just like, change the name, man. It's silly. I like that. But they also had to put the part where he's flying on, what was it? Was it like a mechanical ant? Because it was an ant with wings. Is there a thing that exists?
Well, he can control ants with his power.
I know, but is there a such thing as an ant with wings? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Stay away from ants now. But anyway.
Yeah, come down to Florida. I'll show you ants with wings.
Okay, I'll just stay here. But anyway, when it got to that, I was just like, all right, yeah. I was pumped because I mean it's called Ant-Man, so I expected him to get on a freaking ant. But I could see how people would be like, what the? Why is he flying an ant? What is that gonna do? How's he gonna fight? How's he gonna fight anything? How's he gonna beat Ultron? Like. He's not gonna be an Avenger, but still, how's he gonna fight like Thanos? Like, what is he gonna do? Crawl up his arm? Like, yeah, I'm gonna tickle you to death. Yeah, you don't even know I'm there. I don't get it, but still, I think it looks like it could be fun, but I don't know if it's gonna be a success. But Guardians of the Galaxy was, but that was a little different. That had a lot of special effects, action, a lot of humor in the trailer. This one, so far, it had that, but not as much. And also, it didn't have, like, the team aspect. This is just, like, freaking Ant-Man. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, it's very standalone. And if you thought Guardians was obscure, I mean, this is, like, really, really a big chance. And I think the problem with the teaser, it wasn't funny enough. And I guess I was expecting more because, I mean, this is the guy who made Anchorman 2, which I actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
And you got Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Don't waste this dude's talent because his timing and comedic sense is really good. But the trailer, I think it was partly the music, the tone. It felt like they were going for this, like, serious, way with them. Like, what the fuck? And we got Guardians of the Galaxy with the whole, who are you? So, yeah. I kind of felt like it was like Marvel's like, I don't know what this film is going to be. Is it going to be a funny movie, or are we going to go a little serious? The trailer almost reminded me of trying to be too much like Iron Man 1 and like make it really serious with funny parts in it. Mm-hmm. I hope they don't go that route because I think it would be funnier. I mean, we got to do, like you said, Who Rides a Fucking Ant.
Yeah.
We can't have this shit serious. I think my major thing with it, too, is I've read comics with Ant-Man. I'm not a huge Ant-Man fan. I've never read one of his solo comics. I've read a lot of comics with him in the Avengers. And the reason he's unique is the coolest thing. Like you said, what is he going to do when he's an ant? Well, he gets to keep the strength that he had as a human at ant form. So, slipping by guards and knocking him out by jumping on their back and just doing like a little karate chop, and that's like full force guy hitting you in the back. So it's like you're invisible. So
we're gonna get a zoom in of Paul Rudd small on some guy's greasy back as he like hits him a little bit.
Would that not be like fucking awesome?
That would be hilarious. Can't wait.
Exactly. That's what they gotta go for. I mean, this has gotta be a funny fucking movie that you're just laughing because it's so absurd, you know?
I want to see him like pick up a steel chair. Can he do that? See that he has like the strength of a human. Yeah. Just knock someone out like wrestling.
Before I go, James knows how I feel about MCU films, so I'm going to approach this from not my normal stance, okay? Okay. My normal stance is I feel that a lot of the MCU films are overrated, including Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to get killed here, but that's okay. But I'm gonna look at this from the contextual viewpoints of the trailer, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, as much as I think Guardians of the Galaxy is overrated, and I'm gonna take 2 trailers, and then Age of Ultron, I don't have an opinion until I see it. But I'm gonna take those 2 trailers and talk about them on a tonal level. Despite how I feel, Guardians of the Galaxy trailer represented what that film was going to be about from the beginning, even from the teaser, which we got last year. Okay.
Yeah.
You look at that event, though, the 2 Avengers trailers, that Age of Ultron trailers we got. Especially the one the other day that we got, very like bleak, very dark. That sets up the tone of the film. Yeah. The problem that Ant-Man had was it seems like it was confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas
it's the first Ant-Man, and we're supposed to we're supposed to be introduced to this character, but we don't want to be introduced to some small guy trying to be serious.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't know what it was. It had 2 really kind of the weakest one-liners you can have, and then it kind of had, silly scenes, but it had that music that was so serious. It took itself. It doesn't know what it is, and that's what I'm fearing the movie might be.
I agree. It doesn't know. I've seen the worst director make a great movie. It's just I want this movie to be what it's supposed to be. Fucking weird and funny. Not to copy Guardians. And like you said with those one-liners, I got very Guardians feel. Marvel's oh, we'll put these scenes in, and people seeing Guardians, they'll have the same fate. No, use the own humor. Like the scene I described. If we saw Ant-Man karate chop a dude in the back of the head as a little ant, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Or pick up a fucking chair and smack someone in the face as Ant-Man. I mean, or flying on an ant into someone's nose and then killing him. I mean, that shit. I don't know if he does that, but it just would be cooler than what we got, which basically felt like a rehash of the Guardians teaser.
It didn't even feel like the Guardians teaser, because again, like I said, it felt more confused. You watch that Guardians teaser now, and you get exactly what you got from the movie expecting from that teaser.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I guess what I mean is Guardians teaser in the sense of that comedy, whereas Ant-Man should be more weird. Guardians was very, very fast, very fast, little lines and one-liners and funny faces.
Yeah.
Ant-Man should be funny in the weird sense. I did like the line, can we change the name? Yeah. Because that was good, but the other line I didn't like at all, whatever it was. Yeah, I mean, that just felt But anyway, Ant-Man,
actually,
do you think it's going to be a failure, another Incredible Hulk, or a surprise hit like Guardian?
Actually, one thing I want to mention. Did you ever see, in 2012, they released that Ant-Man, the test footage? Kind of like what they did with Deadpool recently, where they actually had, I think it was all CG, where it was actually just seeing Ant-Man do what he does, where he just turns small, beats the crap out of people, and they can't see him because he's so small.
No, I didn't see that.
Actually, I remember seeing that, and it was a leaked footage from, San Diego Comic-Con, I think. It was actually really good. I was okay, now I see why Edgar Wright really wants to make this movie. And of course he dropped out because Marvel was just no, we want it to be different. Maybe it's because they wanted it to be serious, and Edgar Wright's no, it's Ant-Man.
I don't know, because if you read what Edgar Wright said and you look at the Hank Pym character or whatever, when he first appeared, what's interesting is he did appear after Fantastic Four back in '62, but what's interesting is Marvel was publishing a bunch of other stuff, right? Because, they weren't doing too well in the superhero department. Well, of course, Fantastic Four blew up at that time. But in Tales and Astonish, they were doing all these science fiction stories. And Hank Pym actually premiered in a science fiction story where he shrunk himself down, and the ants basically took him in, and it kind of ended on a cliffhanger note where they ate him, it seems. and that story is actually in continuity.
Oh.
And then hysterical.
Yeah.
The worst superhero of all time. Now it's small. Oh no.
So it's interesting. It's just like I said, it's called The Man in the Anthill, and it's a very old story, and even though the Marvel Universe was around at that time, it had just started, it wasn't necessarily intended to be a Marvel Universe story.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I guess I gotta read that. Like I said, Ant-Man is definitely not a hero I'm all that invested in, so my answer to this is I think the movie's going to be basically The Incredible Hulk in terms of sales and reception. It's going to probably get like the okay amount of people going just because that's the Marvel name. I don't think it's going to be another Guardians. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to be a bomb. Not yet. Marvel hasn't gotten to that level of having a bomb, like a bad, don't make your money back type movie. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be like Incredible Hulk?
It could be a modest hit, kind of like Incredible Hulk, where it makes its budget back and maybe a little bit more, and that's about it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though I think it might make a lot of money in foreign, because a lot of those foreign people, they just love special effects. Like there's no doubt about it. Like Transformers. If you told people, if Transformers just it just came out of nowhere and it was nothing before, and someone said, all right, there's a movie about alien robots that come to Earth and they have to defend a cube thing from other robots, and then humans have to go and like work with the good robots to fight the bad robots, they'll be like, all right, that's the stupidest thing. But of course, now Transformers has been around for 30 years, so it's fine now because we know about Transformers. So I guess like in 20 years, I guess Ant-Man might be like Ant-Man, he's common now, so he makes sense, I guess, in 20 years. So I don't know. It might make money. Foreign, probably. I don't know. I don't know how much the budget is, too. So.
I'm kind of with you. I think it might be kind of like a smaller hit. My thing, though, is I just have this feeling that it's not going to be as critically well received.
I think it might be as good as... I think the ratings are going to be between, like, Iron Man 2 and Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Now, mind you, I'm not saying it's going to be like that, but, that's my prediction. And if we're wrong, we'll come back here in, like, July and talk about it, but...
Yeah, that's true. It comes out so soon. I keep forgetting.
Yeah. So, and then we have Age of Ultron, and I'll be honest, as critical as I am of the MCU, I'm actually looking forward to Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, I have my full faith in that cast and Josh Whedon, and I just can't see him fucking up. I don't know if they'll be... sales-wise, they'll definitely beat the first one, but I don't know if it'll be as critically loved as the first one, because I think that was like such a big surprise. But definitely have faith, and I hope it's as good as the first one.
Yeah, me too.